So as part of my second ayahuasca ceremony, I also received a direct healing from the shaman, and it had started that day. We had a consultation, and I shared some physical challenges that I was having, some pain that I was having in my lower abdomen. I wasn't sure if it was kidneys or appendix. It had been giving me a problem for a couple of weeks before my trip. So I shared it with him, and he actually could see a mass there. He could see the energy as we were talking about it. So before the night ceremony, he came to my room, he did a blessing, he did a clearing, he put up a protection in the room, which at the time I didn't really understand. I just went with it, you know, like it was great to be around the shaman, and I love the Palo Santos bark, and you know, so I had that before. Then at the end of my ceremony, he came to me at the end of our ceremony that night. He came to my mat, and I laid down, and he started doing hands-on healing and went straight to this area, and I just kind of briefly shown him, so it was pretty miraculous how he went straight to the spot and started almost digging into my abdomen with his hands, with his nails, kind of like he was shoveling something, and he just kept doing that. It was hard pressure, but you know, I could feel him digging in. And then something interesting happened. He started using his mouth, and he was actually chewing on my skin and going really deep in there. And as he was doing that, in my mind, I started having visions of a big jaguar, and he turned into that and was just eating all of the mass that was in me, and I could literally feel it moving, and you know, this big jaguar, and I had complete trust. There was no fear, there was no judgment. It was just, yeah, this is healing. And he just worked on it for quite a while, kept, you know, chewing, and then he was sucking it out, and then he would blow it out in his mouth. He would start coughing into my bucket that I had there for purging earlier in the night, and he was spitting and making all these noises and just, you know, getting it out, and coughing and coughing and coughing. I afterwards felt a little bad because he was choking on it, and then, you know, I could hear and feel him release it. And I could feel it leaving my body, which was pretty miraculous. So that night he did that. He blessed the space. And when I went back to my room, I did have an experience of something, I sensed it as a being or a spirit trying to get to me. And I'm going to write more and do a separate video on that story. But he had protected that space, and he had seen that was an option. And what I seemed like, you know, my experience of it was that he pulled something, an entity, or something that was parasitic, something that was in my body. He pulled it out, and what I sensed when I got back to my room is that it wanted back in. It was a scary experience for me because I could feel its intentions wanting in, and so I felt that night after the ceremony that I was, you know, diligently saying no, no, no. In hindsight, I see that I really didn't have to do that because he had set up the barriers, and it never did threaten me physically. I could just feel its intentions of what it wanted, but it wasn't really a threat. I just perceived it that way. But he had already set up protective space. So that was my direct healing. I felt very grateful for it. The next day I could feel a little residual physical pain. He massaged it a little bit, and after that I haven't had any of it. It was pretty excruciating before the trip, and during the ceremony it did get intensified. I could feel it, just, you know, intense pain, and I wasn't sure what was happening. So I haven't had this pain since, and it was pretty miraculous, pretty awesome. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned.